I've been called a lot of things.
Welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking about Wikipedia.
Hey, man. Hey, man and guys, everybody out there, thank you for tuning in to Tech Talk 2020. It's Mike Carswell here on the show, even though I was not sure what I was called there earlier, but that's fine. We appreciate you tuning in here to WINT Integrity Radio, 1330 AM and 101.5 FM on your radio dial. Plus, you can always listen to us on WINTradio.com. And I would encourage you, if you're listening out there, which I hope you are, to hit us up on Twitter, which is also at Tech Talk 2020. And our Facebook profile is the same, Tech Talk 2020. You can see past episodes, and you can relate to us and talk to us during the show. Welcome aboard.
Welcome indeed. Mike, I love to play word association, and that's what we're going to do today.
Okay.
So I'm going to say some words.
I'm scared, everyone.
And you tell me what comes to mind. Ready?
Okay.
Funk.
Uptown.
Funk and Wagnalls.
Encyclopedias.
Very, very nice. Back-breaking labor as a salesman.
Encyclopedia salesman.
Yeah, you are so good at this. Wow.
That is back-breaking.
Back in 2001, something called Wikipedia was launched by two guys. And one guy is still very, very involved. Jimmy Wales.
Okay.
And Larry Sanger.
I wonder where they came with the name of Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's a play off of the word wiki, which
Yes.
anybody can Google, because I'm blanking right now, but it's pretty cool. So, and it's like encyclopedia, but
yes.
wiki, we'll check that at the break, and I'll come back with a
Onlinepedia,
precise definition. I don't want to make something up that's
Gotcha.
close.
Okay,
but, it's really about being able to categorize and taxonomize information without one person owning it all, right? Because we all believe in the power of the crowd, right? And so it's using information from
Wait. The power of the crowd?
Yep.
Huh. I've heard of the power of a lot of things, but the power of the crowd, that's a newbie for me. I like that.
Power of the crowd means that, Sanjay's brain is not bad by itself. Sanjay and Mike's brain together is even better.
We can change the world.
Yes. And the more people we add, the more world we can change.
Let's get smarter together.
So Wikipedia is a free online encyclopedia created and edited by volunteers around the world. And it's hosted by a foundation called the Wikimedia Foundation. So, media as in rich graphical content. Now, it's free, but if you join it or you look at it, you'll see some, suggestions that you donate to keep it going. And you'll have messages from Jimmy
I've seen
Wells.
that on there. They're asking for a couple dollars today, a couple dollars next Thursday. And, unfortunately, I'm one of those guys that I just utilize it for free. And I don't use Wikipedia first.
Right.
I understand that people contribute to that. For those who don't know, and Sanjay's definitely going to talk about details, is that you can actually be an editor on Wikipedia, and some of your thoughts and ideas, just in case you think that, let's say, sweet potato pie is something different than I think it is. I guess you can go in there and add your thoughts and concerns or ideas to change my definition of it. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. And so starting in 2001, within 7 months after release, so from January of 2001 to August, ended up having 8,000 articles. And those articles reference different diverse topics that you would have kind of like in a real encyclopedia. You look up a topic and you find it, except this is all through your browser. Now think about 2001. We had Yahoo, quite powerful. Google was pretty new. We had a whole bunch of other search engines.
I had a gateway computer, too.
Yeah, right. And
it looks like a cow in a box.
I loved those boxes. I know.
That was cool.
That was cool. And then you would have all of this internet explosion in 2001, right? It was an open frontier. Nobody knew what was going to happen. But they saw and they had a vision, and it's amazing that this is still, there's been some decline in viewership in the past couple of years. But, they had thousands of articles in the first year, and then the next year, or actually later in that year, they had 25,000 articles. And by the end of that year, they had 20,000 articles in 18 different language translations. Nobody really worked there. This was done by volunteers. This is back in 2001, before the crowd economy, before collaboration economy. These are people out there who just edited things anonymously, updated and posted information.
All for free labor.
All for free labor, back before it was cool to give free labor.
Okay. So Wiki was kind of, it sounds pardon my terminology here, a little bit of an organic thing here, which everyone contributed to.
Yeah,
So, okay.
absolutely. So
it grew.
That's how
naturally.
you do it. Yeah, you go in and you update some things, you search for things, you can create your own page, anything that you're knowledgeable about, and it gets added to the index system, and so people can search it and find it. I mean, pretty amazing. So it's always been one of the top 10 sites on the internet, really. It's been one of the most popular sites. It wasn't the thing that got rid of the real encyclopedias. Really, that was the digitization of content in large. But this still, I mean, think about today. You go in, you want to find something, you Google it. You might see some excerpts from Wikipedia, but you're not going to go to Wikipedia directly and then try to find something. You'll go straight to the search engine. So we're really a search-driven type of user experience group.
But however, like you're saying, generally when you do a search on, again, I'm stuck on sweet potatoes today. Maybe it's something to do with where I'm hungry. But if you do a search on yams or sweet potatoes, one of the selections that'll come up in your top 3, 5, 6 choices on a Google search will be generally Wikipedia, especially if you do an individual. So I think
like
that's
a person,
pretty interesting.
you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
an individual. Like if I put in Sanjay Parker.
A human.
A human, yeah.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
If I put in Sanjay Parker, not Sanjay Parker, but if I put in some movie star or some famous athlete or whatever, generally their name will come up with a Wikipedia definition of who they are.
Yep. And so when it first came out, it was greeted with a lot of, skepticism. Like, wow, people own content today, and it's a top-down type of world in 2001 still where you're not editing your own content that others can see. That's dangerous because you need the experts to edit it. What if somebody said that, seals are, they fly, right? And somebody edited that and some kid reads it and they think that seals fly. What's preventing people from just, hacking the information? And so that has occasionally happened, but, what you've typically seen is somebody goes in there and they see the updates and they change it. And they say, no, that's actually wrong. If you go into Wikipedia, any topic you choose, you'll see the edit buttons everywhere for you to go edit.
You know what I think is interesting is that, excuse me, I wonder if there are certain searches or certain words, primarily nouns and subjects that are out there that are on Wikipedia that no one has researched or no one has taken the time to edit. Just wondering. I mean, I don't have time to look for it. I'm sure my vocabulary is so limited, but I just wonder if there are irresponsible things out there on Wikipedia that somehow, some way, haven't been caught yet. How often and how thorough are their editors? I mean, do you know much about how they? How often?
Yeah, and they don't really have editors there. They've got 40 people working for the Wikimedia Foundation.
Okay.
And that's not the only thing they do. It's really open to the crowd. So you can use some data analytics and see, if there's some feedback. Interesting terms around Wikipedia that'll be good for our audience to know. One is a stub.
STUB?
Yep, stub. So when you have a Wikipedia stub, that means that you don't have enough information. It's just a placeholder. Like nobody's really contributed that much content to it. Another one is disambiguation, right? So it's that a certain term that you look up could have multiple meanings. And, here's some different pages that this is maybe what you meant. So kind of neat how it's created. It's not definitive on anything except for what the crowd feels at that moment. And you can tell when it's last been updated. You can assume in some cases a popular search term that hasn't had updates, on a recent basis, that is the current information around that. So it's been done pretty well. And so if you look at all of the Wikipedia content, I mean, there's so much good stuff, and it's so accurate, it's so detailed. It's amazing that people just do this of their own free accord.
Well, what's interesting, too, is that I have a young lady in our life now who happens to be from another country. We have an exchange student in our home who speaks a different language. And what's interesting is you mentioned words that have several meanings. One example we were talking about to her the other day was the word light. What does the word light mean? Well, light means, in Espanol, it means luz, which is, the light that lights up the room. But light also means, when you've lost 15 pounds.
Yes.
And then also it means that when you're trying to get your cigarette ignited, you need a light. So you got all these things that mean light. So I bet it'd be interesting to see how Wikipedia handles that, especially in other languages. Because in English, I mean, come on, man, we have words that are double time, triple time, and get kind of goofy sometimes. But I think light's a real good example of one word that actually has three meanings.
Yeah.
How does Wikipedia handle light? Look that up during the break, boys and girls.
That is cool. So, I mean, you do have these ways for people to get that content. So, in some of the more popular places and popular sites, or frequently, hacked terms, there are some restrictions today where there's editing restrictions. You might have to have an account to log into, so you can,
you have to be super smart too.
Well, knowledge is power. So,
No, I'm thinking if I have an MBA, because if I look at the folks that have contributed, is there any accreditations that they have? Do they go to certain schools? They have a certain type of eyelashes? You know what I'm trying to say. If there's, or can anybody just jump on and add to Wikipedia?
Yep, anybody who has information that they think is related, in a pure sense. Anybody who knows something about a topic and has that time to go ahead and capture it. We get on the web today and we get our answers and we close the browser or do something else, right?
Sure.
We're definitely a consumer-driven behavioral society. With Wikipedia, you find something and you see that it's slightly off or you have some more information. Those little edit buttons are all over the pages. Real easy for you to go in, edit, change, and make those changes real quick, because you don't want a lot of friction in terms of being able to update something. You don't want to have to email a webmaster and say, hey, that page, which I've done. When I'm passionate about something. But typically you don't want somebody to have to email a webmaster and wait a few days for them to get, an update and a confirmation. And maybe it will never change anyway. But here you put the power in the hands of the people. They can make immediate changes.
Power in the hands of the people. So I'm wondering, and curiously enough, how, if I was a teacher today, which I do teach a lot of things, but I don't have a classroom situation currently. But if I ask some kids to look up definitions of a certain thing, let's say I ask them to look up a definition of a suburb, define suburb for me, I would be a little hesitant on receiving the definition of a word from someone that used Wikipedia as their main source. Is that going to change ever, you think, or is Wikipedia credible enough?
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty credible, especially since it's not, it's open, right? So open equals credible because everybody has the ability to input to it. So
but that's not always good, though. You want the smart people to have it.
Well, no. Well, everybody has some talent and some smarts, right?
Sure. Yeah, I've heard that before somewhere.
So, right. So you think about, what's important in today's world in terms of trust and having the ability to change things if you don't see them as right is a key component of that.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I if I was in an education environment, I'd be a little cautious about someone using Wikipedia as their first source. I'd actually encourage them to, get multiple sources, for a definition or to work on a project. My daughter was writing a paper the other day, and I saw her digging around, working hard to get 12 pages written in 2 days. So,
wow.
Hey. When you're up against it, baby, you got to go.
Yep. Well, thank you, guys. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back right after a word from our sponsors and friends.
Thanks for tuning in to WINT Radio, 1330 AM on Tech Talk 2020.
Welcome back to Tech Talk 2020 with Sanjay Parker, and I've got my great, awesome, very in shape, boxing ready colleague Michael Carswell here to help me talk to you about Wikipedia and all the cool things that you can do with it.
For those of you who watch us on Facebook or or even on Twitter when our show's tweeted there. I pretend to box, but I probably couldn't punch my way out of a wet paper bag. This is this is Mike Carswell. I don't fight anymore anyway, guys. Thanks for tuning in to WINT Integrity Radio, 1330 AM and 101.5 FM. It's kind of cool that we're AM and FM, and also we're on the internet at WINTradio.com. Hit us up on Twitter, and our handle is at Tech Talk 2020, and on Facebook, the same, Tech Talk 2020. So we are talking about Wikipedia, and we're all here to get smarter together. So let's give some more facts about Wikipedia as we learn how we go and find things on the internet there, Sanjay.
Yeah, thank you. And in the first part of the show, you asked me about the origin of the word wiki, and I've nailed it here. It's from a Hawaiian word.
Oh,
and it's actually two Hawaiian words, wiki, which means quick. And we know the importance of quick in today's world.
They want it yesterday.
So Wikipedia is quick encyclopedia. I mean, that's great. You know, just from a surface perspective, it's from being able to search and get to your topic instead of table of contents, index, or thumbing through, 19 volumes. Wasn't that fun, though? I kind of missed that.
I don't know. It's funny. In our home as a kid, we had two sets of encyclopedias. We had encyclopedias. Again, I don't know the origins of them. I just grew up as a kid, and there was two sets of them. They're Funkin' Wagnalls and somebody else's. Mm-hmm. I'm sure some slug sold them to my mom, and they ended up in the house. But
they usually got financed. They were very expensive because content and that research behind it was very expensive, right?
Sure.
They had to update that. They had to go to press. They had to make sure that everything was properly edited and all of that stuff. And then when they release it, it's already out of date.
That's right. You know what's crazy is that kids today probably have no concept of how much effort it was to do a 12-page paper or 10-page paper back in the day when you had to use so many references from like 15 different books. I remember doing those things. And, was I better for it? I'm not sure.
Well, young kids think classics. The classics are Dr. Seuss, probably.
Classics. One
back
fish,
in
two
the
fish,
old
red
day.
fish, blue fish, baby.
Right.
That is a classic.
Yeah.
I think Go Dog Go is my favorite Dr. Seuss book.
Go Dog Go. I don't know.
You remember that one? That's a cool one. Go Dog Go.
But this whole wiki thing reminds me of another cool term that I learned before, and it's called pachakcha.
What?
Yeah, pachakcha, and I think it's a Brazilian term.
Would you mind spelling that for everyone out there?
It won't even spell like it sounds. It's Pechakucha, pachakcha, which means talk. So we learned about quick. Now we know talk, and right. Pachakcha is a style of PowerPoint presentation that says, look, instead of death by PowerPoint, make 20 slides, 20 seconds each slide. Your whole presentation is 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, you won't get an argument from me there.
I've tried that in some business presentations. It's actually neat. It's very hard to keep on pace.
But I would think that people, 20 slides is a lot. Now, I've been more in the sales and the technical side throughout my career than you, and I had a rule that I threw in place probably about 10 years ago. 8 slides was the maximum. Mm-hmm. 8 slides was the maximum when you're giving a PowerPoint presentation. For those of you who have done that before, or many of us who've had to sit through them that are longer than 8 slides.
Usually my presentation.
Wicked. I like 8 slides, but 20 works for you. That's fine. So you said 6 minutes per slide?
No, 20 seconds per slide.
20 seconds per slide.
For the whole presentation, 6 minutes, 40 seconds. This started off as an art form in 2003 in Tokyo.
Okay.
Now it's in over 900 cities. They have a Pachakcha night. And I don't know what. Looks like this year was September 7th. So Pachakcha night.
So that's more of the crowd defining how we're going to go, correct? So that's kind of interesting. 20
images times 20 seconds. The art of concise presentation. So if you're doing business presentations, go check that out. Definitely cool. Now back to wiki, fast,
quick. Fast, and quick.
Quick.
Mm-hmm.
So there is concern from some of the older constituents of the studio at this moment about content accuracy and the ability to cite and reference information. In fact, one of the cool things about Wikipedia is it allows you to cite and reference your sources.
I'm a big fan of the real. I want the real, the real deal. None of this prefabricated, hanky-panky, whatever, little stuff from guys trying to tell me something that's not real. No, honestly, I would have a concern. That's why I mentioned it before, that if I was a teaching at this time, I would not want Wikipedia to be the first and or main source of any of my students doing papers.
Yeah, I think it is. Today, maybe the first source or second source. It's in the list of sources. It is one of the most traffic sites in all of the internet.
Right.
But what you will see with children and students and young adults today is they don't often reference just one site, right? For example, you've probably never thought of this, but some of the media channels, especially the big ones, have their own slant. That never came to your mind, I'm sure. You're pristine and unadulterated. And so MSNBC might not always have the middle-of-the-line view.
Right.
And maybe Fox News might not.
Right.
So if you subscribe to one or the other, you might hear a certain thing. The idea behind Wikipedia is that it is socioeconomically, politically, everything agnostic, right? Now, it's only going to be as agnostic as the people who edit things, right? So
I hear you there,
you're hoping that if you never pick sides and you just let the information flow, that of course it'll balance out. But that's the idea. So you might have some things that aren't fully.
It would be cool
if
we got things straight. It'd be really, really cool if we could do that. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen anytime soon, my friend.
Yeah.
So I hope it does. One day we just get the truth. But yeah, so I could see where if you have who are that throws in a question for you real quick here. Who are the normal contributors to Wikipedia? Their editing. Is there a select group of people? Is there a certain subset of individuals? I mean, do you have an 85-year-old grandfather from the west side of Cleveland and then a 12-year-old kid from North Dakota? Will they both be Wikipedia contributors? They could be. I know in theory, but there's some actual numbers as to who is assisting. I just wonder.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so it is people like the 85-year-old person. It is you. It is me, right? Or people like us.
Yeah.
But there are organized groups that go in and edit and update things. For example, if I am responsible for maintaining my company's webpage and I have a huge Fortune 500 company, I'm going to monitor what it says on Wikipedia, what it says about my leaders, their latest resumes. So you have groups doing it as well. In fact, the origination of Wikipedia had early contributions from a company called Newpedia, which was starting to be an online encyclopedia. So
what's it called again?
Newpedia, Nupedia.
Okay.
Also Slashdot, which was where all the techies hung out and talked about nerdy things. Well, it would pull in information from Slashdot.
Hey, well, I wouldn't know about that.
It would it would also do web search engine indexing. So it pulled in some stuff automatically as well. But then once that content's in there and is populated, now it's kind of self-serving. The great thing, too, is between those Wikipedia pages, you can link and reference other topics of more interest, of similar interest. And even when you cite articles, you can cite out to the web. You can cite within Wikipedia. So it's been quite amazing in terms of curation, which is one of the hardest things to do, to get humans to do right now.
Define curation for everybody out there.
So curation is, how do I find what I'm looking for? How do you taxonomize it? How do you tag it? How do you get me the information I need? Google does it great with algorithms. Wikipedia is doing a little bit of that, maybe more now, but it's really around humans going in and saying, this fits in this category. This is about this. And it's just amazing. I bet you there's millions and millions of hours of work that we've collectively done as a human race to get that thing to where it is today.
Huh.
We own it. It is ours.
Awesome. I do wonder sometimes, and we definitely don't have time to talk about it today, but so people, what they've heard in the news, they know and they're familiar with Wikipedia, which is what we've learned about today. You guys, we all got smarter together. We know that you all can contribute to it. So get on Wikipedia and start editing, or at least see if there's something you can add to make things better. But next time, or one of these times soon, we got to talk about WikiLeaks, because
absolutely,
that's come up in the news. And WikiLeaks, man, is that something that happens to your teardrop? What's it all about?
Yeah. No, that's absolutely cool.
Love to know about that.
If we think about the definition or the origination of the word wiki, we know that it means quick. So Quickpedia, quick leaks, how do you get information leaked out quickly? That's WikiLeaks. There's no relation between Julian Assange, who has that site, and the people who founded Wikipedia, right? It's
I should walk into my kitchen and say to my wife, wiki with the dinner.
Yeah, tell me how that goes.
Make it quick.
Next week. Yeah,
wiki. I want you to clean this room up. Wiki.
Quickie, wiki, like quicker and wicker. Okay. Anyway, but definitely let's do a future show on WikiLeaks. I think that has been quite popular lately.
I think we should talk about Dr. Seuss too, man. I'm still stuck on Go Dog Go. That's a great book. All right. Well, listen, guys, thank you for tuning in to Tech Talk 2020. Mike Carswell here with Sanjay Parker. So pleased and happy that you joined us today here on Tech Talk 2020 on 1330 AM WINT Radio and 101.5 FM WINT Radio, Integrity Radio for you. Take care.